Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. But oh, by the way, Meg, thank you for the painting.
Oh, did you like it?
I
I've
love
got
it.
so
It's
honestly,
amazing.
I've got so many things painting-wise going on in the background to share my art, freely. I'm not for any profit from it. I just think it's great that we've got this, that you've provided us with this place where we can all collaborate and connect with our ideas. It's just amazing.
I mean, that means so
I
much.
love it.
For anyone who doesn't know, and it'd be great to do like an overlay of the painting that we're talking about. I don't know if we do any like post-production to this, but Meg painted a really cool picture of me, and she's been doing like other characters on mines. It's
I'm
just,
doing lots of the Minds people,
yeah.
a lot of the original ones. But yeah, as I say, with my lifestyle and things, other projects that I've got going on, I have to kind of be super organised, which I'm not that great at being because I'm an artist. So I'm quite scattered. I'm not I'm not a linear thinker at all. I've got like about 3 different canvases on the go at the moment. And what I tend to do is I'll paint one for a bit and then I'll leave that one and then I'll go on to another one. And people say to me, why don't you just finish the one you're doing? I'm like, because my brain doesn't work like that. I just can't. And then all of a sudden I'll just finish about 3 in one go. It'll be like, oh yeah, they're all done now. I'll just sort of do the last finishing touches to them all. So, but yeah. And also, Bill, I want to say that if there's anything that specifically, if you have like a specific requirement, you could come to me and say, is there any way that you could create something and include these elements? And I would probably, I would create something out of my head. And then obviously I would show you, and it might not necessarily be something that you would be into, and I wouldn't be offended. But what I'm saying is you might just want these core points highlighted in an image form. So, I would also be happy to do that, or I'll just create things randomly.
Well, that's a very kind offer. I'll probably certainly take you up on that. I love those kinds of collaborations. So thank you. Yeah, I'll follow up about that.
Yeah, your paintings. Actually, that's kind of a interesting little topic that we could probably dwell on a little bit. But I know, Bill, I've seen some of your work. You're a pretty good artist yourself. I don't know how much time you have.
I dedicate very little, but I mean, I try to draw and paint like as much as possible, even though it hasn't been that much in the past few years. But actually, in the very early years, I mean, even before Minds.com got started, with just some of the early gatherings that we were having in Vermont, we would do these collaborative art projects. Basically, in my living room and our house, we would put a canvas down on top of the living room table, and it would just always be there. And so anyone who came through the house could participate, and we ended up with honestly like dozens of these huge collaborative art projects. So I need to find all those photos and start posting them more in the groups. But just the principle of this collaboration and manifesting a product. So now it's become more of a tech product, but it's also media. And so that principle has remained since the very early years, when we were doing more physical art and actually event organizing. Like, we would do these forums. They were sort of a smash between a forum and a music festival and sort of like an open mic. This is when I was in college in Vermont. And so we would have these community gathering of the minds. And then it just sort of started. It was hard to scale that. We wanted to create this event platform for people to, hold these gatherings and, around any topic they wanted, but sort of fuse together art, music, and just whatever, maybe it was an activist topic, whatever it was. But we just had a hard time scaling it. And I was actually somewhat not into social media back then. I saw the dangers of Facebook and everything from the start. And so I was sort of repelled by it. But then I saw what was good about it and started to embrace it more. And then, obviously the internet is much more. You can't be anti-internet. I mean, if you're anti-internet, then to a degree you're anti-nature. But I was sort of confused back then, thinking that there was this separation between nature and technology, but ultimately it's obviously all interconnected, and nature is technology to a degree, depending on how you want to define it. I think that we're learning from these platforms, and they're part of the process of our evolution, but they need to transform to more internet freedom supporting models, or else they're going to make themselves obsolete. And so, yeah, I mean, I completely agree. You can't, turning your back completely is probably not the best idea. I think it's really important to keep pressuring them to transform. It's not necessarily, the chances of Google, Facebook, Twitter going away, like this sort of the same way that MySpace did. I mean, MySpace is even, it exists still, but it is a good thing if they transform, if they make their code open source, which the chances of that happening are so slim. If they start changing their ethics in regards to privacy and all these things, that's really important, because no one can deny the value of communication that they bring to the table.
For sure. I mean, much like you was anti-social networking. Actually, up until I found Minds and I saw the potential of it. It was funny, I was on Pirate Radio and I told Jaffe, in my earlier years when I went more introspective and high above the clouds, whereabouts unknown, when I was kind of just doing my own thing. If you do any kind of artwork, you kind of need to share it. And I think for me, the valuable thing is when it connects with someone else. And this is kind of where I always keep in my own mind for Infinite Imaginarium, to tap into that collaborative creation intelligence, this creative intelligence that's in between us, that we bring each our own individual experiences, skills, passions, perceptions to the table. And when we build our relationships, it's amazing what happens through that interaction. I continue to want to try to harness or fester that. And that's where I see Infinite Imaginarium as a virtual creative workspace. And actually, Missy, the last time we were hanging out, we were talking about very similar to what you were saying about your what you guys did with Open Canvas, and anybody can kind of like go in and work on that artwork. And we were saying to do something, what was it, Missy? Where we pass around the image and we keep on.
It's actually a game played in the early days by Surrealist. It's a game played with a piece of paper that you fold, and each person can only see maybe less than half an inch of where that lines end on the fold, and their flap is folded back, so no one can see the reveal until it's been passed around. Everyone's done their segment or section. Normally they would do like the outline of the human body, so each person knows one person ends at the neck, next person ends at the bottom of the belly button, next person, and so on. Then you unfold it and open it. But once you know the rules of the game, you can you could do it with Photoshop. You could really do Photoshop tennis is another version of it as well. But the game is called Exquisite Corpse, and you can actually wiki it.
When we had that discussion, we were talking about having these more, not competitions or contests. I mean, I guess it's a competition and contest, but it's more of many people can we get in to collaborate on whatever media we're doing, instead of like having one person win, I guess. The winning is to have more people participate, and how do we go about doing that? That's kind of one of our interesting ideas that we're working towards and kind of brainstorming right now.